Why am I sitting down with my wife at Ruth Chris and I see dudes walking by with their pants sagging, with their jeans sagging? This is supposed to be an establishment. Ruth Chris.
So, there have been plenty of talks across the past week about Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, about not only cracking down on their dress code, but fights happening in the restaurant. Here are the recent developments.
Somebody break it up.
This is sad, y'all.
My sister Circle and I were out celebrating our Friendsgiving. We arrived at the restaurant. Shortly after arriving, we only had time to give drink orders. We didn't even get our drinks. And a physical altercation happened between two African-American women. We did not know them. We were not affiliated with them. They were at another table. They began to fight. The situation was diffused by management and other staff members. The management came over to our table and told us that they would not be servicing us tonight. We had to leave. I questioned, are you shutting the entire restaurant down for tonight? No, we're just not servicing you all because y'all like to fight. We became shocked, confused, and he did that in front of the entire restaurant, in front of all the other patrons. No one else was at.
Interview 1. So, I'm guessing the Ruth's Chris management probably thought that she was with this group that got into an altercation, but she wasn't, which is honestly very sad to hear that they didn't even get their drinks. But going back to the fight, it's absolutely wild that she was even allowed into the restaurant looking like that. I mean, as you guys saw, she basically had some like yoga gym pants on with a crop top. Interview 2.
I gotta get it out. So, over this last weekend, Valentine's Day weekend, my wife and I, we was at Ruth Chris, right? We went to Ruth Chris. That was our first time. But there's one thing that I do have to talk about. Why am I sitting down with my wife at Ruth Chris, cutting into this nice ribeye, and I see dudes walking by with their pants sagging, with their jeans sagging, with these bubble coats with their hoods on? Like, yo, we gotta stop. Like, we gotta stop. And we gotta understand, like, yo, there's a time and place for every. First of all, how the world reads us is a reality. Like, yo, the way you present yourself is how the world reads you. We already are fighting an uphill battle at times. And I understand there's a lot of systematic things, but like, why are you, like, we gotta do better. Like, at Ruth Chris.
I mean, this is probably the best reaction that restaurant could have had, and the best thing that they could have done in this situation, because at a certain point, you expect to go to an expensive restaurant. You expect everyone to be dressed appropriately, and if they are not, they usually, get denied at the door. Interview 3.
Energy, why are you bringing this like attire that, come on, jeans sagging? You can't, you eating at Ruth Chris, you can go buy a belt. I hate that for us. I hate that we do that. Like, us men, we got to do better as men. Like, so it turns out, not only did Ruth Chris see that video, they liked that video. Not only did they like that video, they just came out with a statement saying they're about to reinforce a dress code policy in their restaurants. All right, so this article is from the New York Post. It was just published yesterday, the 13th. Today's the 14th, all right? Title is Ruth's Chris Steakhouse Owners Crack Down on Diners Dress Code. And y'all can read the rest of the article. Y'all can look it up. But basically, they cracking down on a whole lot of stuff. Hey, shout out to Ruth's Chris. This cool. This is cool. Now, maybe this is a coincidence. Maybe they never saw my videos. Maybe this was already coming down the pipeline. But come on, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't no coincidence. It's not no coincidence. Hey, also on the Black Millionaires Instagram page, they also reported on this, and there's a lot more details explained in the description. So, change it.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who you are or where you're from. If you're spending over $100 on a steak at a restaurant, and it's a luxury restaurant like this, then you just cannot come in wearing athletic wear or, gray sweatpants and a hoodie or something like that, and expect to actually walk into the restaurant and be able to dine in. Interview 4.
To that Ruth Chris guy that said, oh, we need to stop coming in looking a certain way. Hood dude discrimination is anti-black. Tech bros wear the same thing over and over. They wear the vest, wear the company sweatshirt, and then they have like a North Face type of fleece looking thing that has the company logo on there. The tech guy will wear the same thing over and over, and no one's bothering him or telling him he needs to dress up. There are rich people that wear the same thing over and over, and plain clothes at that. A good hood dude is going to put his money out and be like, here, this is your tip. A good hood dude is going to give everybody that came to the table to help with the service a tip and introduce himself and talk to them. There are rich, wealthy people that itemize the bill. In a capitalist society, you have to have a capitalistic mindset on all levels. Wealthy person running a business is going to say, let me cut corners in certain areas, and they'll also implement that in their daily life too. Ruth Chris is not discriminating against them. We don't want Ruth Chris to start discriminating against them. If Ruth Chris isn't saying anything, why are you coming up with these rules? I don't think the original creator that said this has been around real rich people, real wealthy people. He needs to take a trip to San Francisco and sit around with tech bros. He needs to come to New York City and go with the finance bros. The finance bros too. They wear the same thing over and over because none of that stuff really matters. It matters if you're going to a business meeting. Okay, you want to dress up, but if Ruth Chris doesn't have a dress code, why?
I mean, to be fair, they probably should have asked her to take off her hat when she got seated at the table. But that doesn't really take away from the fact that you're still wearing a hat to a very expensive restaurant, and it would be comparable, you know, to walking into a job interview in a hoodie and sweatpants and expecting to actually get a job. Interview 5.
Just came from the airport, so, flying all day, I'm tired. We come to Northbrook, Illinois to Ruth Chris, okay? Now, I got on a hat because, like I said, I'm tired and been traveling all day, so my hair is not combed, I'm not going to take off my hat. So we come, the hostess don't say anything, all these huddle up waitresses don't say anything, we get sat down, we get bread, water, order our food, and then all of a sudden, 20 minutes in, the manager comes and says that I have to take off my hat, and I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. So she's like, you gotta sit at the bar. I don't drink, I don't mind sitting at the bar, but we're comfortable, I'm already tired, I don't wanna play musical chairs. But then I look behind me, it's two black guys with hats and tank tops, and she said they were told, but they already ate their whole meal, and they're paying for their food, sitting in the same place, but you want me to get up,
I mean, this woman is correct on so many factors, right? You go to an expensive restaurant, and you expect everyone to at least have some sort of manners. It just shows that you're a good, courteous person at the very least. And at least, when you're in public, you're not going to be a complete nuisance to the people and workers around you. Interview.
Ken, I need you to stay right here. We need to have a talk. It comes to a point where supporting and defending your community just it becomes so exhausting that you feel this frustration and you start to understand why people have the black fatigue that they talk about. The Houston Rodeo, a family event. You have people there fighting, stealing, acting like menace to society, lawlessness, at an event that's supposed to be a fun, family-oriented event. You have Ruth Chris now saying, hey, we don't want to do this, but you guys are forcing our hand. We're going to have to enforce a dress code policy because how you guys are coming in here with your pants sagged.
6. I mean, so obviously there's a little bit of a joke here. She wasn't holding the fort completely correct or, the way that people traditionally do it. Maybe nobody ever taught this woman how to properly hold a fork while cutting a steak. Interview 7.
I am tired of the wrong type of people in our community, because let me preface this is not all black people. This is not. You have people over here making life miserable for other fellow Americans because you have no manners, you have no standards, you have no morals. I don't care how you were brought up. If you were raised in the hood, if you were raised in a suburb, I don't care. Having character and manners will always take you far. So no, I don't blame people when they say no, we don't want your kind over here. I'm hesitant. I don't blame them. I do not. Because if anything, what it shows is that you cannot call a pattern of facts racism and stereotype. Stereotypes all come from a truth. What a concept.
So, the thing that's different about this situation is that the restaurant actually responded and implemented a dress code that is more strict, or at least, enforced it a little bit more than before. After that guy made a video about the whole situation, they went ahead and actually responded, which is different than what usually happens. Interviewing
the video of the girl at Ruth Chris Steakhouse holding a fork like she wanted the Flintstones. This was crazy. Ladies, all y'all want to do, go to the nice restaurant. Yeah, a ninja got to take me here. He got to take me to this restaurant, this and that. Whole time, a lot of y'all never really been to them places. Whole time, y'all never took an etiquette class. And y'all parents never taught y'all how to eat properly. A grown woman cutting a steak like a caveman is insane. And this is why y'all getting invited on coffee dates. Listen, I'd be damned if I take a chick out and she going to Ruth Chris and embarrass me. And Ruth Chris ain't even a top of the line spot. Thank God you ain't get taken to a Del Frisco's, Bobby Van Steakhouse, and it's a few more, but I don't want y'all dusties going to my spot, so I'm not going to name them. But yeah, ladies, I love y'all, but that video just set y'all back a couple points. Listen, fellas, save your bread. Don't waste it. Vet her out before you take her to a nice spot.
Wait, it really is not that hard to just sit down and not scream at the top of your lungs in a restaurant, disrupting absolutely everyone around you having a great time. But guys, you will not want to miss this last video. Interview 9.
You go to a Ruth Chris and you see somebody with their pants sagging and they got like bubble jackets and stuff on. I can understand you being like, I wouldn't wear that and I don't agree with that. But when y'all come on the internet and y'all do videos talking about people shouldn't do that and there's a time and place for everything, who are you talking to? Are you just hoping that the video comes across those people who would do that and thinking that they're going to change? Because they're not. Are you hoping to get Ruth Chris to hear you and to have more of an enforced dress code where they turn people like that away when they walk up? Or are you just trying to create an echo chamber of a bunch of people who can say, yeah, I agree with you?
So, as we saw in the beginning, that dress code is being once again enforced at Ruth Chris like it was in the past a little bit more. But I mean, yeah, if you do go into a high-end establishment like this where the bill is going to be multi-hundreds of dollars for multiple people going, you're probably going to be acting a little bit differently if you're just at McDonald's. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next.